And we're live. It's another episode of Weekly Mojo with your host, Madison Jessica.
The whole crew, too.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Our favorite mascots. Well, not favorites. There's, two of three are here today.
It's fighting for
They
some
usually are
competition.
not here at the same time.
Yeah, no. Usually,
It's these two are the third one.
yeah, usually Rue kind of owns the space, but today we get all of the dogs. I don't know who's gonna end up winning as far as positioning on this couch, but I don't
Muggley
think it's
was
gonna be
there
either of
first,
us.
and then Boomer, being the big mountain dog, just climbed right
Yeah,
on top.
totally just like made his way in there. Hi. It's good to see you both. Yeah. Different paths into the room for sure. I'm your
He
host.
looks smaller,
MJ.
but
yeah.
he is larger.
He just like happened
Gotta
to
capture the scene real
Oh my
quick.
god, do we really need to?
Oh yeah,
That's
his rump is over
there's a
here.
lot going on.
Yeah, you can see he engulfs her.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. It's never a dull moment around here, that's for sure.
yeah. Hopefully you're not too nauseated by my camera movements.
Yeah, CB Radio is now our cameraman. Although you were always kind of the cameraman, audio host. What don't you do, dude?
Well, I just deployed an application last night, so
Speaking
That's
of,
a great point.
bunch
I don't
of
know
news.
anymore. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Do you want to just go right into that as our recommendation corner for KCSMB? So any small businesses in the Kansas City metro that are looking to capitalize on the World Cup coming into town, that is essentially your call out to head to playhaus.app.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
If you're
All
a
right.
small business in Kansas City, which is the shout out you're giving right now, let's give the shout out to the real portal you should go to, kcsmb.com. This
Can
is
they
an
see
initiative. Yeah, this is live.
Lovely.
Yeah, I pulled up. This is live. This is, there's some rough edges here, like everything I'm building. We don't have very much money,
We're
Like
bootstrapping like anything, but
Absolutely,
we're
like,
passionate about pursuing and helping other small businesses pursue and capture the markets that are coming into town.
We have more than enough in like every way, but we could always use more to keep going and building more things. Anyways, back to this. One of the cool things we've got started here,
Yeah.
right, is a project by Rich Chunggang Jr. and KCSMB's outgrowth of him wanting to make sure that the World Cup, which is coming to town next year in 2026, we're one of,
Wow,
is
that
it
is next
16
year.
or 17 host cities?
Uh,
Anyways, a number of host cities across Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And Kansas City, obviously, this is a huge opportunity for us and for the city. And anyways, so Rich wants to make sure that what happened with the draft doesn't happen again, where just a handful of larger businesses and corporations made all the money, and most of the Main Street businesses didn't benefit from the swell of people in
lots
any kind
money,
of capacity.
in fact, in a lot of ways for anyone trying to represent themselves.
Absolutely. So we got a little kickoff going here on the website.
I love a countdown. Literally, I'm a sucker for a countdown.
we listed some coffee houses. You know how to get out of here, Boomer. Don't walk towards the camera. Nope,
we're
already
sliding
struggling.
with it. All right,
You're taking the camera.
Figure it out. You got it.
Nope.
We'll see. You got it.
This is gonna be interesting. I don't know if you guys can see what's going on with Boomer. No, he's just taking Maddie's spot on the couch.
I was like, are you just gonna hang out for the whole show then? He's like, I don't know how else to. Okay.
I can't fix the camera because
the whole situation.
Yeah, the whole situation.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
Wow, it's. You would think that we were professionals at this point, but fucking, we're just going.
We don't have animal control support,
We're supposed to be our own animal control.
How?
What the fuck are we supposed to have?
I'm in the middle of a show right now.
Never gonna happen. It's wild.
Well,
we're all just overgrown children at the end of the day.
We could have put them out in the yard, but then they'd start barking. At least with children, we can put them in a little playpen and let them scream upstairs, and that's normal.
I think that's literally grounds for calling CPS in a
No,
lot
it's
of
called-
ways.
No.
So soothing, yeah, until
No,
it's
I
like
didn't
2,
say
3,
so
4, 5
soothing.
hours later.
I said Google ferberizing.
That I
It is a
don't.
parenting strategy and technique.
It is something. I tell
Oh
you
yeah,
what.
we're staring at infinite screens,
Oh my
so
God.
that's doing you guys a disservice. So, anyways, here at KCSMB, what we really built, and this is why you want to sign your business up if you're a small business owner, is we built a discovery tool that we're hoping to plaster in the Kansas City airport in 2026, so that as people from other countries and across the country come to visit Kansas City to watch their favorite teams compete and or practice, train, and get prepared to compete, they can discover businesses and activities and fun things to do nearby. And we just found a haunted psychiatry place up in St. Joseph. So, like we've been using these tools to do things like that already for a minute. One of the more exciting use cases. But we think if we can help you guys get discovered, we can also start giving you some of the growth tools that I'm building at Playhouse, as well as this larger idea we have of building a citywide loyalty program using blockchain to help the small businesses really work with each other to grow the health and strength of Kansas City and to be a model for other cities to do the same.
How else do you want to, like, how else do you get to reinvest in the small businesses in your community other than like through opportunities like this where you can provide your support without having to provide your footprint in their establishment 24/7? Bubba, chill. Oh my goodness. So, without further ado, that is just one component to what Playhouse is powering. Between Rich and you and Sarah and our new to Casey friend Jessica. Shout out to the soccer game that we were able to attend, which was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Nice mix of new established Casey residents as well as like native Casey residents.
Those are two of the same groups of people. The third group were the people who are new to Casey.
No. I said new established because
I heard established Casey, not new
established to Casey. And I think that I make that distinction because Casey really does feel like such a welcoming and warm community. And maybe that's just like what we've been fortunate and blessed into. But ultimately, like we have just, there's a lot of really cool things around here. Not to say that KCSMB is the only way to be involved, but if you're like in a different city and you want something like this for your city, feel free to shout out. And
you'll be able to get your own portal that has access to this large feature suite. I might just take you guys through, or you've seen already, but I'll show you a couple of the highlights.
Little demo and see.
This is one of my customers, and I want to show you this because they have their full creative asset suite in here. And it shows a preview of what your ad campaigns can look like based on the assets that we've uploaded. And that's basically how advertising campaigns are run and built. And it takes a bunch of pieces. And so I take all the potential pieces so I can have it assembled for these campaigns. And then that's what lets you see them. And then
sound booth theater. I mean, I think we've talked about them in the past.
Yeah, but we try not to like name them too much because out of respect for our customers, we don't try to share their information so much, especially in a public forum. But
I have a lot of hot takes that may not necessarily have a lot of
nothing
the Venn
to do with
diagram.
That. It's just that it could be sensitive information.
I'm sure that
too. I don't want to really call out who it is.
Well, it was just like.
I know. I get it. I get who it is.
And so I was just gonna make the call out of
we're not trying to be extra over the top calling it out.
True.
I'm trying to call out.
But now that they're there,
but they're not there. I'm just like using this one. Can we stop?
Oh, perfectly fine. I was
You're not like understanding.
No, I was gonna do a recommendations corner, and you're like, no, and I'm like, that's fine.
I don't want to blur those lines out of respect for them. I don't know where we are at that point. So
that is perfectly
fine. There's so many other reasons.
you to handle your business as you need to, and you can cut out whatever you want to. This is live,
all
and nobody
live,
fucking
and
watches it.
right. At the same time, I don't have time to do any of the editing. That's why the podcast isn't up yet. So this is just gonna sit here live, and I'd appreciate it if you just,
Well, yeah, we're done. Like we don't,
Yeah, I
we
know.
don't have to keep
yeah.
getting into it any further. But
Right.
if you
Anyways,
want
I don't
a
have to
demo,
show you the rest of the system.
No.
I've built some other things like a report building tool where you can see any system metrics you want. I'll show you some real metrics around how many hours people are listening. I don't really want to show sales metrics because that's sensitive information.
For sure,
you know?
Absolutely.
But it is built up off of them being my first client, so that's kind of
They're
hard.
the real MVPs at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
We appreciate anyone that gives you your first
and
start.
To that end, that is kind of what's going on here with these portal things, which you should see here in a minute. But I interrupted the creation of this page, so I wonder what will happen. So anyways, everything loads. You can click directly. Yeah, it's going to change the page and make it, I think, the new portal.
Ruby. Hi, princess. Want to just get the whole bar in here?
Yeah, that's what happened. So this is what I thought was going to happen. Since, like you said, we ripped the Band-Aid off and we're going to be extra careful with sensitive information. You can see how our portal tool basically
overlays.
Just reduces down the feature set to what the customer needs and wants, because every portal is not going to need all of the features. All of the features would overwhelm people.
For sure.
Playhaus will have all the features, and we're trying to figure out how to put all the features in one place so it's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
I have some great ideas for it. I don't have any money to do anything about it.
Classic.
So this is why we're just focusing on this piece for now. The piece we know how to build for sure. Kind of well enough. And what's cool about this is you can filter it down by the narrators. You can filter it down by how someone's listening, what device they're on, web versus Android versus iOS. It gives you a breakout by the different books that you could be listening to. And this is all super helpful for my client because they pay out royalties to the authors and the narrators and a whole bunch of people they work with. But also
to see the metrics that people are engaging with to be equitable for everyone that is participating. Is that what I'm hearing? Those
are two different things. So the metrics are just a byproduct of the fact. Or I built the metrics because I know that they're useful for helping people understand the health of the platform and whether or not people are using it, liking it, what do they like, so that you can potentially work with those authors to get more titles. So that's kind of the point of that. But that's more of what they'll use it for. But their publishers could use it to discover their customers eventually. I haven't built that report yet. But where I was talking about was all of these, if you can imagine the sales version of this, where everything is revolving around not the engagement data, but the sales data, all the people who are getting paid based off of those sales,
would be tied
want to know, can get paid in much faster time, because the answer to how many sales of my product did we have during this period of time, so how much of the money is mine, can be answered much quicker.
So you're just providing further granularity within your data analytics. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm connecting data sets that aren't connected.
Cool. So it's like a smarter version of Salesforce, if I had to put a competitive out there.
I wouldn't want to say I'm smarter than Salesforce at this point. Salesforce is super, well established. Yeah, but a lot of their feature sets are probably overlapping with ours in some capacity.
I just know how
our focus is really on helping people buy ads on Facebook and Google right now. If you're a company that runs advertising campaigns on those two platforms, that's what we can help you with.
Facebook and Google.
But now what
No
I want
X because
no, we do
he's being
Reddit, we do X,
excommunicated.
we do
Okay.
Pinterest, and I don't call it X, I call it Twitter because I like the name
Thank
better.
God.
All of the above. But let me switch this to Playhouse's account now. The other thing I did that I'm pretty proud of was like we're a Web3 company, or at least aspiring, but I did take it upon myself to start building out our Web3 integrations. And so while there's not a ton of functionality or use case of this yet, and our dog just moved the camera again.
Just like got real into position. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to live within the bounds. Hello.
All right, fixed again-ish. Anyways, the last piece of the demo is that you can connect your wallet. And, for further proof here, well, I know this isn't necessarily your wallet, Maddie, or necessarily my wallet. This is the wallet that I manage for you. And, well, actually, Playhouse manages it for you, so I'm going to put it over here. So, show people how this works. Ooh, enable SWI. Yeah, we got
Nice.
SWI now. This is still down. So, but I'm going to switch to this account that I manage for you. This is where I mint all the Madison Jessica NFTs from.
I was like, nice. You remember my password? And it turns out it's just the one that you have for me.
Yeah.
Or you have in my name.
Yeah. It's just another wallet address within the Playhouse wallet. But it's tied to your assets. So, anyways, apparently, I now need to do debugging in the server. I'm pretty sure when they change some settings, they Claude, the LLM I'm working with. I wonder if this is because I'm trying to add multiple wallets to one account, or if it's because I changed a different setting. We'll find out right now because I changed over to my personal profile. Let's see if I can add this wallet. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. So, fun fact, our platform doesn't know how to... Oh, there it is. Sync balances. Okay, cool. That's something happening. We got some errors and we got some fun outcomes, but I didn't fully build this and I don't give people access to this. I guess I will redact this access from Growbot because I don't want people to try to add more than one wallet at a time right now.
Yeah, that's probably fair after.
Yeah, it says pending verification, can't run. I have to check the service logs for why that is. But you can see we have a different wallet. You can see it was able to read in tokens. You can see that the token values are in here. This is our paper token. This is my mother token right here. If you look up the mother contract address, you would see that these are the first 8, numerical values of that address. And same with our paper token. And that's my placeholder in this table for now until I am able to pull in more data and make it more robust. But I have found some bugs. And like we have over here for Sound Booth, the feature set is super restricted to what works. And while I can access whatever pages I want on anyone's portal, that's not possible for everyone. So
As like you wouldn't want it to be, as you're the administrator versus the profiles that you have operating.
And so I have a few, I have more relationships to work out and segment some more strictly, but that's not going to be that
The
big of an
fucking
issue.
power of AI, in all honesty, creating what is not just one large giant database of a bunch of different like widgets, so to speak, to like put it in my 2 cents self. To then basically have any sort of metric you would want as a business to speak to in any way, shape, or form live and constantly reiterating and feedbacking on itself. It's just like, it's really cool to see how much can be done with the power of AI and the perspective to know how to use it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know how to move all the data around in the background, so like that is a piece that's unique. But without AI, like, and me spending all the time I have in the software industry to have a good sense of what it is I need to build and how to prompt the AI, like, you know, I wouldn't be able to accomplish that. If I was talking to you earlier, there's like the number of new technologies I have to learn constantly in order to get projects done and solve bugs and errors and make things go live. I, without AI, can't do that. Like, I can, but my patience wears thin, and it takes me a really, really long time. I joke about it, but I've been learning to code for like 15 years. And like, this is my first full stack deployment today, real one. Outside of, you know, a WordPress website on a GoDaddy server, like, yeah, I did that first, but now I'm here. And you can see like our portal manager, like we were showing you an advertising and analytics tool, and I flipped it over to the product I'm building for you.
Right.
You can't even tell that these like are the same software. You can. A lot of the design elements are kind of consistent. The utility and
the usability is similar, and that's what's supposed to be consistent, but it's supposed to be dependent on what your business would need, and there's just so many like business tools that you would need access to. So it's like, how do you it's very cool to see the a la carte business software solutions that have come up within just like the last 3-4 months. Truly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Every iteration.
And it's just so fun
like documented iteration too.
It's just so fun to play around with these things.
Yeah, you do like playing around with it.
It looks cool.
Absolutely.
Like, you know?
I like the dark light mode. I think that's probably your best feature.
Yeah. Every degen loves light mode, dark mode, so it's like you gotta have that.
I am dark mode only. But fuck, now that we're like, I don't know, 20 some minutes into this goddamn show.
23 minutes into this
show.
That's
crazy. That checks out. Let's talk about the baddie of the week. Miss Kanwati.
Thank you so much for letting me co-op the show for a product demo.
Absolutely. That is what the partnership's meant to be, right? I have her settled into this
beautiful frame that you
thrifted.
Yeah. We can put it down for now.
Yeah, exactly. Unframe, huh? For the moment.
Yeah, you're gonna put her up on. You're gonna show her off real quick.
Sure. I was like, why not? I usually do this. Really excited to get into her. I really didn't look into her much further, other than our episode of the ENIACs, episode 1. Has prompted the creation of her, not in so many words. Basically, I don't think I had a Native American baddie of interest on my docket at that point. And so that's when I went sleuthing for, and then just Googled it. So this is what Google gave me. And I think she was Canadian Native American, if I remember correctly. But excited to learn a lot more, because Showgirl doesn't have time to do the education portion. I just go based off of feels for the paintings.
Wow, Perplexity integrated DeepSeek already.
Interesting.
That's the new Chinese AI. I'd love to talk about that at some point.
Yeah, we should put a pin in that. But Perplexity gave me some of the best outputs for an email that I was trying
Recently?
to. Yeah, literally, like today.
I wonder if
yesterday.
they're using
It gave-
DeepSeek and everything.
It found Vivo like research, and it was like, hey, here's all of the like, and it cited it for me too. And I was like, oh wow, I don't need this much in-depth research on an intro email, but like, great to know. Great to know. No? Okay. Fuck ChatGPT. I'm so happy Perplexity is back up and running because she
Can you
was not
stop hitting the
working.
camera?
She was not working during the oh my goodness. Wow, we are so
Feels overcorrect.
it also feels like really high. Oh my goodness. What is this? Oh, I think it's just because you're like leaned down that it's really throwing me off.
Let's see where I'm at when I lay down. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
that's fine. Okay, very good. She's beautiful, right? All right. What is it? What we got? That looks.
So do you want to be what's
You be the interviewer, and I'll be. Hopefully, I don't have to say her name too many times. I'm
well,
so
you
sorry
usually
for
don't
the
have to say your
pronunciation.
name yourself.
Right.
All right.
Shit.
Thank you for joining us today, Kanwatsi Tisiani.
Pretty good.
Giustini.
That's how I. Yeah. Siani.
Can you tell us about your early life and how you became involved in Mohawk leadership? I assume you get born into that, but how does that happen?
That was for the Mohawk, you know.
Yeah.
Certainly, I was born around 1736. Around, don't know
So
the exact date.
specific.
1736, near Kanahori, New Mexico, or New Year. Jesus Christ.
The year?
It's the Kanahori.
Kanajohari, New York.
You think that's a J, not a.
I don't think it's Spanish.
You don't think? Okay, Kanajahari, New York. That definitely checks out. Into the wolf clan of the Mohawk people, so that's how. My native name, Kanwatsi Tsitsiani, means someone lends her a flower. I was raised in an Anglican. Anglican?
Yeah, that is
Anglican faith, and received education. Jesus, this is really testing my eyes, apparently.
Right.
Received education at an English mission school, which helped me become fluent in both English and writing English. That makes sense. So
she's one of those people who got sent to the Indian boarding schools where all those kids got found murdered. Anyways,
I thought she was like out of those basic or like removed from that. An English mission school.
English mission schools are those schools.
Oh, really? That's what that is? Jesus, that's glad that she made it out.
All of the schools, they were
So, like, the
took
rural
away
stuff?
that we took Native Americans away, and Canadians did this too. We took them away
Agreed.
from their homes, from their parents, and put them into schools to be re-educated to be like Americans, real Americans. And
we
many
were doing
of
this in the 1700s too. Okay.
Yeah, 1700s, 1800s. I'm sure we still did it into the 1900s.
I mean, so we were colonizing before we were an actual colony. Is that what I'm just fucking hearing?
Do you know where Mustache Man got his justification for all of his stuff? I just heard,
do you know the Muffin Man? What the fuck is Mustache Man?
You don't know who Mustache Man is?
No.
The evil
Lane?
No, the evil. No, he's more like I think it's the Dresden. I don't know the name of it. Dresden Blitzkrieg. No wonder I was trying to put Blitzkrieg into the name of the city of Dresden.
Okay.
World War II Mustache Man. Does it ring any bells yet?
Other than Hitler?
Yeah, that Mustache Man.
Okay.
It's like his name usually flags algorithms. That's why people don't say it, and they refer to it by other euphemisms like Mustache Man.
So, okay, so that's who you were saying?
Yeah, the whole time.
Oh my God.
He uses stories about these schools as his justification for many of his actions. Anyways, let's get back
How
to wait. Let's talk about
how,
the schools themselves and,
Yeah,
and
but I
glass over that because that's just a side conversation.
But like, and so like getting into how horrible and heinous these schools really are.
Exactly.
Because this is how we know
Anyway.
how little you need diet, like vitamin wise, in order to survive. Because they killed thousands of
They ran
children
experiments on
based
children.
on this. Like they depleted them so much of food resources that they gave them just little bits to see how much they could survive on. How fucked of a
Yeah.
how lack of humanity, like how much lack of humanity do you have to have in order to see like children as something as like a subject to be testing on?
So I want
my
to bring this full
fucking
circle
gosh.
for people here. The government often outsources its work, right? And it usually does a really bad job of vetting the people they outsource.
They
their
don't
work to.
care
But
who
yeah,
they're working
well,
with. They just
all
want the
of the
data.
above, right? So they usually tend to work with these groups, and these groups tend to be religious organizations, especially at this period in time, because most charitable organizations, tithing is tied to charity that is tied to your religion. And most people, of at this time from England are of the English branch of Christianity called the Anglican Church.
I wish I knew the name of the creator and I could tag her, but it's giving low IQ vibes is what she says when it comes to like diehard religious fanatics. I'm like the die by these like clearly ethically like fucked situations because you have some moral superior high ground is some of the most I can't even begin to like feel so not a part of that group while being spiritually aligned with like whatever the universe and like God has in store for us. It's so disconnecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you've ever found yourself complaining about the way the Uyghur Muslims are treated in China, then you're a hypocrite if you don't recognize the way that we religiously brainwash this other group of people. And that's not the only time in history we've done something like this.
It's almost like history repeats itself.
Sure. No, I mean, like, I wasn't even talking about Mustache Man. I'm just saying, like, the United States itself has had multiple eras and moments in which we do things like this.
So Mustache Man just sounded like Michelin Man. That sounded like Muffin Man, which really, really confused me in a lot of ways. But makes sense. Schmittler.
Yeah. If you want an association with Schmittler. It's so accurate in a lot of ways, but I'm pretty sure Schmidt is, from the tribe.
No, I know. It's really it's like F in its own way. I know. I'm so sorry. I feel like he'd be fine with it, but let me know if you're not.
So this is my joke here, though.
Oh no.
Schmidt is Schmittler's List.
Nice. That is pretty good.
Yeah, but it's taking the Schmittler name that you had and then vetted it onto Schindler's List.
Almost like Schmidt's Creek is just like waiting to happen.
Oh well, yeah. At least when the Eugene Levy spinoff comes off, we're talking about eyebrows now instead of mustaches.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And we're all in a much better place, and we're back in Canada again. And we're back in this conversation again. We have
brought ourselves full fucking circle out of that and into that and back out of that rabbit hole. How do we do it? I don't know.
We were up Schitt's Creek without a paddle.
Oh my god. Oh, I love Matthew Lillard. Oh, I hope he's not a horrible, heinous human being, but you never know.
A fine movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stupid movie. Just like a fucking dumb movie. God, it's just like,
also DB Cooper's lore has been updated so much since that movie that like it's so out of touch with reality and the facts.
Yeah, that's fair. And also like no fucking way a boy is literally waiting 25, 30 years for his bestie to like have his stuff. Like just no man ever waits. Like they're just on to the next thing.
Oh, that dude who was looking for his friend in the woods, but
yeah, who was like looking for DB's treasures or was like gonna get half or whatever, and yeah, it was like.
And DB didn't burn the other half; he just died.
Right? Yeah, he died.
Such a good test of friendship.
Right.
The whole movie was a comedy with
It
a
was
message
interesting.
about friendship and loyalty.
Yeah.
It's not a bad message.
It
There
was,
were messages about not growing up and other
there's a
things
lot
that
of
were really
just, like,
problematic, and they
yeah,
all
like,
revolve around
boys will
one
be
character
boys club
specifically.
in that conversation.
No.
And I'm like, I'm just like, it's
It's
not
just
a
Seth Green.
recommendation by any
No. Seth Green and his
standpoint.
character basically ruined that whole movie. He's like the friend who
You
is a
want to
bad
like
person.
shit on, but everyone uses as like a prop to get all of their like gross desires out of in movies. And it's like, well, if he does it, then it's fine. And I'm like,
Right.
why do you need that character?
Sure, but then it also
Gross.
supports, like, you know, the Napoleon complex, where you get on top of the mountain and then you just abuse your power
Right. And I'm like,
because you got there with a chip on your shoulder.
it happens so often. I'm so sick of seeing the narrative as a success. That's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
still
he gets
just
the
can't
girl
believe
at the
how
end, and I'm
short
like,
he
how?
is. I'm just always
Nepotism.
always amazed. They make
Is
him
he
look,
married or is he like dating anyone? I mean, like, I'm sure like you find anyone, but like,
I
I'm just
don't mean
curious.
to be upset, but like they're so good at cutting scenes for this. That's all I was gonna say. He is in some movies with some really
Oh my
tall
God.
actors all the time, and he never looks as short
I
as
need to
he
see
is in
a
reality.
Seth Green Vince Vaughn movie only to see how hard those editors have to work.
Vince
I'm dying because I watched a video of just like every fucking guy standing in front of a vehicle, like a NASCAR vehicle, standing on their tippy toes. And I'm like, the amount of boys that are standing on their tippy toes in order to seem taller in a photo is actually fucking hysterical. Included but not limited to your U of M boy toy Portnoy fucking stands on his tippy toes in every one of his fucking photos, and I think that is hysterical.
The
Oh my
only
God.
time you'll catch me doing that
is
if
it the book
I'm
of taller?
Well, no, I was gonna say if I'm in
Sure.
the back row of something and I can't get my face above
boy
the
single
headline.
line. It's boy single line.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling you where I do it. I'm
For
owning
sure.
up to my tiptoes, you know?
Perfectly fine. Like, I think there are ways and reasons to have tiptoes. I mean, usually you find your window and be like in between the heads, but understand that there are tall people in front too, and or people who are not considering back row besties. But now I'm trying to find this fucking like video because it was so goddamn funny. Ugh, I like way too many things on my doom scrolls. Maybe I sent it to somebody. Who would I have sent that to? My sisters group. Are we done with Kinwatsi?
Go for it. No, we still have the whole story basically to tell. I'm just trying. I couldn't find the photo I was looking for, so I wanted to see what ChatGPT would make.
For what?
Why?
Oh, a photo of Vince Vaughn and Seth Green standing side by side. What the fuck do you? I can generate an AI, and then it says, but I can't. Yeah, I just want to see how tall Vince Vaughn is by comparison to Seth Green. Also, what fucking dumbass rabbit holes we find ourselves in sometimes. Anyone here for a Bad Bitches episode can pay for the premium to not have to deal with my ADHD rabbit hole brain, because I have to deal with it on a 24/7 basis. Stay tuned.
Sure,
make
it generic. But base it.
Oh, so fucking good. Oh my gosh, those Celsius packets, that is my recommendation corner of the week. What?
Getting it to make the photo
was no small feat. That is not even accurate. That's like AJ Kappa and Seth Green.
Yeah, I know.
What in the fucking shit is that?
No, but that height differential is still not even good enough.
It's not accurate.
It is if you consider that Vince Vaughn might be like 4 steps behind So it's extra. No. They're doing an optical illusion to make him look taller by shading.
So Reese Witherspoon, I bet, is the same height as Seth Green. And I have to imagine it is going to be about the same.
Right.
Like, I need to see that distinction. 5'1". Okay. And now Seth Green is what? 5'1", 5'2", 5'3".
1 second.
I'm like, if AI is not going to do it, 5'4".
5'4".
Okay.
And then
Vince Vaughn next to 5'4" person. I don't know. Okay, so like
you can picture
right within 3 inches of Reese Witherspoon.
He's closer to her height than his.
Look at that. Her head is at
what?
His shoulders at the very minimum, but you don't see any of his legs in any of those shots. So in all reality, he's probably still like she's standing on a platform in a lot of those.
Oh yeah, well look at the movie whatever poster photo.
Right.
Is her on 4 boxes and in heels just to be the same height as him.
That is wild. Literally, her tiptoes are at where his knees are.
She had to be placed up there.
That is so bananas.
And Seth Green is that tall.
Essentially. Within 3 inches. And that is definitely... That is some wild ass shit.
Mm.
Anyway, what a crazy ass rabbit hole we found ourselves into. Oh my gosh. No, I would never recommend this. Although
no.
It was a fine movie. For the first time I've ever seen it, like a year or two ago. It was a little PTSD, to be honest. Just why they do it. Oh, nice. Okay. We'll see if we can get something from this. Good point.
Can you edit the blonde's face to be
I really want to see this come to fruition.
Should be more like a generic version of Green. Well, because we're up a creek, we're up Shit's Creek without a paddle, and that's his movie.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll see what has loaded. Oh, that is.
How about you just go for the vibes
and recreate it?
And don't be specific. Be so specific about it then. I don't want to get you
in trouble. What are you? You're something else.
Got it.
With the vibes.
Let's see.
Copy? I don't know.
You sent me some Python code. You were supposed to.
What a dumbass rabbit hole. Oh my god. I miss ChatGPT from 2022 when it wasn't fucking stupid.
Right? Sometimes it makes you upload the file again, though. So that's really what that is.
Again.
Let's see if it actually works.
This is the last time, and then we're going to get back into the baddies story. Oh
100%.
Ugh. Remember when we used to, like, take the baddies?
It's got a cartoonish touch, apparently.
Oh. That checks out. Oh, man. They probably just gave us spam.
Well, we'll find out.
At least it's not my laptop. What the fuck?
I love AI for how dumb and weird it gets.
I am sorry. In what world is that Seth Green in any way, shape, or form?
It's not only a generic version of Seth Green, it's not even over Reese Witherspoon's face.
That's so like. That is. I can't even. I didn't think AI could be that bad, in all honesty. That's like,
LOL, did you make that?
did you try?
With Microsoft
Did you
Paint?
try? Did you like outsource it to a 3-year-old?
Is this your first time on a computer?
This is so rude. I mean, this is probably why people people are scared of the computers taking over, and women are all just like, "Oh no, somebody who will be in charge and oppressing me." Well, how is that any different than anything I'm already existing? And the men are the only ones that are scared of robots taking over. Oh, it's not doing it.
No.
Thanks for your patience. Stay tuned. All right. This has been such a silly. It seems like I can't do more advanced data analysis. You're not even asked to do data analysis. You're just asked to do a simple cut Seth Green's face on the photo.
Just make a new image from this as inspiration. But anyways.
This has been such a colossal waste of time. Let's get back to perplexity, which really truly matters.
Right, and we only went through this whole circle talking about Canada and bringing it back full circle, then got derailed by the Upper Creek paddle.
Because God forbid I have to sit on a negative point for too long and spin it into something else.
We went Upper Creek of a sitcom. Yep. But now back to the story. Because
is this enhanced so I can see it? Jesus Christ, Mowgli May.
She just keeps moving the camera.
Well, it's fine. It's still on. Naughty. Girlfriend. Is that enhanced?
You want to make it bigger than 100%?
Yeah, I need.
There's 150 right now. You want to go bigger than 150?
I think that's okay. Can we take those sidebars away?
No.
Okay. Then I think it's fine.
Okay.
We're not too far into the story.
No, we are not. Do you want to start over or is too many mouthfuls of words?
I'm okay.
You were right here with I was raised in the Anglican faith.
Yeah. Well, I had finished up by saying that I was fluent in both speaking and writing English because of the English mission schools that I was a part of because of the Anglican faith, which got us down some crazy rabbit holes that happened not just of all of North America, essentially. So
right. That's fascinating. How did your relationship with Sir William Johnson shape your life and influence? And also, how did you meet Sir William Johnson?
We're going to find out. Sir William Johnson and I became close around 1758. He was a British...
22.
Okay, nice. Good math there. He was a British superintendent of Indian affairs. Interesting. That's
what we called natives back then. Because we didn't know geography and we thought we were in India.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about him being the head of the Indian affairs if he's British. I don't know, that just feels oppressive, but
yeah, that's colonialism, baby.
That checks out.
He is the person in the colony who is in charge of managing the savages.
The John Smith.
Yeah, he's the John Smith here. Well, actually, I have no idea because John Smith was just some random dude who worked. Yeah. I don't know what his job role was.
Okay.
This guy's job is literally to be in charge of, and I said that way on purpose because that's how the British were talking about them at that point in time, and they viewed them as other.
There's a lot of othering lately, and I'm really fucking sick of it. So
yeah,
it's just and
that's why they did such awful things to them because they didn't see them as people. They didn't see people as people.
Oh, the lack of humanity.
Right.
Okay, so it's even like Jesus said, how you treat the lowest common denominator, those who serve last will be served first in heaven. You know what I mean? If you're not serving others, then you are not going to have yourself served as men. Women, you should serve yourself. And then men will serve you.
You
Going
gotta,
back to
no matter what, you do have to put your own life vest on before you
right,
can start
your
assisting
mask for
others.
sure. Like you have to be comfortable in yourself in order
Right.
to
I
like
think
take
there's
on
a
a partnership.
distinction there that people like don't make, that you can't help people until you've helped yourself.
That's very, very true.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with needing space to help yourself.
And you should take the time to
help yourself
instead of putting that on somebody else to help you, because you can't help yourself, or like
You're
nobody else.
the only one
You're
that
the
can
only
help
one
you.
that can help you. Really, truly. No, you can't rely on anyone else but yourself. It's just gonna be you at the end of the day. Everyone else is gonna be dying around you. It's just gonna be you. Are you content with the conversations and the decisions that you've made for yourself? No. Okay, their life opportunities to like redirect. But don't waste your fucking time like lamenting on things that you should have done instead of like taking action for the things that you want to continue to do.
Or shouldn't have done, or happened to you that shouldn't have happened to you. All the things that you either focus on from the past or you're fixated on in the future take you out of the present moment.
It's very, very true. And
you miss the gifts of opportunity and luck that are hidden every day. God built some Easter eggs into this game we're playing.
It's true. You gotta be paying attention if you're gonna be able to pick up on all of them.
I got all the loot boxes, baby.
So William Johnson, of the superintendent of the Indian Affairs, became his advisor, confidant, and consort.
We had 8 children together.
Oh,
I'm just taking over for reading for
apparently,
you for some reason. I saw the 5 and was like, break. Okay.
8 children. That's fucking nuts. 8 children together before his death in 1774. He gave him 8 kids till the very end.
8 kids in 16 years.
1 every 2 years. That checks out number wise. This relationship, I mean, that's so many to the point where it literally killed him. I'm like, at what point is it not a miracle and is it a burden? I don't know. I'm
Didn't
not a
kill
parent.
her.
This relationship allowed me to straddle both Mohawk and British cultures, which proved crucial during the American Revolutionary War. I could imagine so. That's insane. Good for you, Batty.
Speaking of the Revolutionary War, can you tell us about your role during that time?
Oh, man. During the war, I was a staunch loyalist supporting the British crown. I know. So that's where I was like, ooh, she might be propagandist. I used my influence to encourage Mohawk warriors to remain loyal to King George III. I also acted as a spy, providing valuable intelligence to the British in 1777. I warned them of approaching American force, which led to retaliation against me and my community. So she's
one of your baddies?
I guess so. I was like, this is what Google gave me as like the top Native American baddie. So what does that say about Google? So this is like Canadian propaganda towards the British. And against the like Americas. This is wild. I mean, like at the end of the day, she's a beautiful fucking piece, and life is complicated.
Yeah, apparently. And now you're a British loyalist, anti-American Tory. They're gonna tar and feather your ass.
Oh my god. That's the only
action. They can use the feathers from your canvas.
Gladiator was my history. That was the
movie?
Yeah, the movie that we watched like 2 or 3 times because my history teacher was not available that year.
I thought you were just gonna say he was interested in Russell Crowe or something.
They often forgot about that scene, and then they were like, oh, it's too late to like do anything about it, and because they usually try and like fast forward through and censor it, even though we're in like high school, like juniors in high school. But anyway,
yeah,
regardless of the fact, that's fucking wild. Those mission schools, those rural fucking nowhere schools.
Well, we're gonna ask a follow-up question about that, but anyways, in pursuit of making the British look worse, I'm gonna ask some follow-up questions.
Let's do it. Sounds great.
Because I'm a real American who defends his homeland and his reputation, even though we're awful people who did the mission schools alongside the Canadians, who at the time were British people. Mm-hmm. So don't forget that.
It is that. I think it's your turn.
That must have been a challenging time. How did you continue to support your people?
Well, after being forced to flee Kanajorari, I don't know, I moved to Fort Niagara, where I advocated for the welfare of thousands of displaced Iroquois. That feels like a good like pivot, you know? I use my position to increase my political power and promote the interests of my people while also serving as an instrument to the political control of the colonial administration. So fascinating.
Wow, so she's a corrupt politician who sold herself out to the
To the
British
British.
government to. Yeah, she's not someone worth glorifying. She is literally
No,
the
I know, I
epitome
mean,
of
like,
every third world country warlord who sells out their people for money so they can live a lifestyle that is more wealthy and better for themselves.
I'm like,
I mean, I get it. Lots of people do it. That is
it's
what everyone does.
wild
If you don't, someone else will. That's the thing.
that this
That's
is
literally what they
literally
tell you.
the
Great. Okay,
name.
there's more people who do it if you want, but like
This
she
is
obviously
the
had the
top
political
Native
relations.
American person that came to me in Googling Native American. Like, that's what I think I get back to is like, it's so crazy how much propaganda continues to get fed to you. Like, the only way I can source real, true baddies in this narrative is by experiencing them through my algorithm.
Sure. Oh yeah, that is the best way to discover it, but on the old TikTok algorithm for sure.
Yeah.
Why not like Sacagawea?
In the same way that I'm like Amelia
Sojourn-
Earhart, you know, like Sojourning
Yeah.
Weaver. Like, I'm like, okay, it's like, why don't you cover Ted Bundy in your murder podcast within the first 20
you're
episodes?
trying to
I'm
find
like,
something.
come on, everybody fucking knows about them.
I'm
And
happy
I'm
to.
saying that,
I'm
like,
coming
I
to you
would
like.
be cool to discover more things and more in-depth things with yes.
Yeah, I was just
in
coming
those
at it, or
moments.
like I didn't say Pocahontas,
There's a woman
but like I
who-
just meant like
There's a Native American woman named Olivia Poole who I really wanted to cover and will continue to cover, who's true Native American, who would have been a better version of this, but ultimately I chose not to because I got distracted and didn't want to do that one. So
yeah, look, at the end of the day, she accomplished something and she is significant. She's not
she did the
insignificant.
damn thing. I mean, like,
She was a bad baddie.
in a lot of ways, she kind of gives
She
me
is a
like
bad bitch.
Ching-Chi vibes, where she's like,
I was
she
gonna
like
say
co-opted her
Cruella.
own like narrative and then basically plunged forward with like doing what she needed to.
I was gonna say Cruella, Yzma.
Sure.
Those are the vibes
those
she
are
gives
the-
off.
Those are the vibes, I guess. You know,
Melania.
the dualities of humanity. Why do
Did you see the Melania Trump Gavin Newsom porn? Plain D boarding. I can't fucking speak today, clearly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell me what's on your mind.
Well, apparently Dami Melania. Anyways, it was funny. So
sounds like a trending category.
apparently there was a video of them coming off the plane and Gavin Newsom just like shaking Trump around and whatever, and Melania getting a huge kick out of it. And it's relevant mostly, apparently. I just saw these TikToks on it, and that's why I thought it was funny. But
I've not seen it yet.
Yeah, well, I did send it to you, because I send you these things. But Trump at his inauguration
TikTok,
tried to
I'm
go
not
and
seeing
tried to
it.
kiss
It's through my
Melania on her
phone.
cheek, but she like tilted her hat so
a
that
bunch
he
of times.
couldn't. She let Gavin Newsom kiss her on the cheek in the middle or right after him
That
going
checks
and
out.
shaking Trump around right after they got off
That
the
checks
plane
out.
because he wouldn't let Trump let go of the handshake.
Boys are really stupid.
Sure, politics are really stupid. The whole fucking world's really fucking stupid. This whole thing, really fucking funny. And I was just saying, bad bitches of history, people who are just, Cruella, Yzma. I made the joke, Melania, that was where this whole came from. That was all. And then I was like, did you see that TikTok? And then you're like, no, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the TikToks that you've sent me through the app on the app in the messaging portion of it since October of 2024. So got some catching up to do, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm totally caught up on your Instagrams.
It's your turn.
Oh. Your life seems to have been a delicate balance between two worlds. How do you think your legacy has impacted Indigenous representation and diplomacy?
I'm curious about this. My life demonstrates the complex realities faced by Indigenous people during a time of great change. I believe my ability to navigate both Mohawk and British societies helped me advocate for my people while also maintaining strategic alliances. Since 1994, I've been honored as a person of national historic significance in Canada, which is, I hope, encourages more recognition of Indigenous contributions of history, included but not limited to the thousands of lives of children that were murdered at the hands of what they quote unquote called science, which is really just the reality of
Other kinds of abuse.
it's really just like the depravity of humanity in the inability to see a human as something that is nothing more than life's precious gift to this world, to like discover your skills and the things that make you uniquely you, that you get to explore for others. Like for anyone else to tamp out that light and spirit, it's just such a travesty that it's like gouge your own eyes out.
Her English name is Molly Brandt.
That's
And
fucking
she's known
something.
William Johnson since childhood.
That checks out. Ew, how much older than her was he?
He stayed at Molly's stepfather's house.
Really
He's a prominent figure in the area, obviously. Their relationship deepened in the late 50s when she became 23 and moved into his home.
Yeah, so this
and
is
became
like
as a companion.
gross.
Feels like grooming.
It is definitely grooming. It's like Celine Dion's situation. How old
The
was
exact
the guy?
nature of their initial meeting and the development of their relationship is not precisely documented. However, their connection was rooted in the complex interactions between British colonial officials and the Mohawk people during this time.
Seems suspicious.
This is at the same time when all kinds of alliances and royal families are made by selling off the daughters. So why wouldn't the same happen here? Oh, we can make peace by having my daughter marry your son and join our two countries.
Sir, your daughter is fucking 8. Can you please stop? Oh, no! Ew! 21 years? He lived a whole fucking other life more than her? Oh my god, of course. Fucking grooming. Oh. No wonder he fucking died. He gave it all.
Wait, did you read the last part?
No. The relationship became shortly after the death of Johnson's first common law wife, Catherine. I hate the concept of that type of man in all reality. That's the portrait that I
Based it off of clearly.
yeah. Oh my goodness. I can't even sell this baddie. I'm just like, what shame for such a cool piece. It's not shame. Every person's story is of value, and she was groomed just as much as Carol Ann was groomed, just as much as Pearl Hart was groomed. She just had a more successful story on the back end of it, in all honesty. And like, we shouldn't. Hey, what the fuck are we fucking like femiciding them for? You know what I mean? Like, she took her situation and made the most of it. Granted, I don't really care for who she was affiliating with as far as the British, but it's like there's two sides to every story in all reality. Right. And if it's like it's what's people do what's in their own self-interest. Like, what was she supposed to not marry somebody with so much affluence? I don't know. It clearly like worked out in some ways. You make the most of your situation though, because it was very clearly an abusive situation that was groomed at the very minimum. Oh my god. 21 years. Like, you saw his wife. You saw his life. You saw all of those kids, and you're like, "Yep, I'm gonna sign up for that." I'm like, that's just pick me bitch energy, which is very clear on how the whole rest of the story worked out. We listen and we don't judge, but I am a judgmental fucking bitch here, and I just like, we choose our own circumstances. Crazy. What are your fingers doing over here? Is she known to have failed her people in negotiating for these things with the colonial government on the behalf and gained personal wealth at the expense of all? Tell me perplexity. No evidence. Okay. Well, she was known for her generosity, her fellow Indians. Gotta give back. At the very minimum, if you're gonna sell your soul, it helps to, give to those that have less.
Yeah.
What was that grunt for?
After the war, Brant rejected offers from the Americans to return to the Mohawk Valley, demonstrating her loyalty to her people and their alliance with the British.
Interesting.
But it's also like, hey, we'll make peace with you. You're welcome back home. No, we'd rather be on these people's side. I'm like, what?
I wouldn't trust.
I know, I just like that.
After the American Airlines situation and having a random ass helicopter that had no business being in that area and location, and it was just horrible tragedy all together. I don't trust the American population either. I would trust going back to there. I would trust that my land would be poisoned and that I would be hunted at any point in time. You know what I mean? Right. I don't blame her for not returning. No, you drove me out of there. You didn't want me there in the first place. You couldn't live civilly the first time. What makes you think that you're going to live civilly now? I just, there's no way. Do we want to, do you have any credits to do a modification with AI?
To what?
I don't know, any of the, I'm I guess we don't want to do it for this baddie. If we're gonna get back into that, it's been a minute since we did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the little side projects we find ourselves
All right, so I asked a follow-up question because it was being, Brant,
elusive.
Yeah, Brant did receive personal benefits from the British government, including a pension and land. These appear to have been recognition for her services during the war and her continued influence among the Iroquois, rather than at the expense of her people. But that's just a way of saying we bribed her to look the other way. And so I said, during her time as leader, are there actions of the British government that are problematic against her people?
That's a better way of positioning it.
And I said, yes, there were several problematic actions by the British government against Molly Brant's people, the Iroquois, during her time as leader. During her time as leader, the Proclamation Line of 1763, while intended to protect Native American lands, was largely ineffective. White settlers ignored this boundary and illegally settled on Iroquois territory.
Of course.
The British government failed to effectively regulate traders, leading to exploitation of the Iroquois. General Gage reported that traders had made them drunk and cheated them through the want of a well-regulated trade. British subjects continued to encroach upon Iroquois lands despite agreements and treaties. This ongoing expansion threatened Iroquois sovereignty and traditional territories, because they were the democracy that actually, one of the democracies inside the United States' democracy.
Mm-hmm.
The Iroquois Federation, or the First Nations Federation, or whatever. The Quebec Act of 1774 extended the boundaries of Quebec to include lands claimed by the Iroquois, potentially undermining their control over the land. Despite the Covenant Chain Agreement, which acknowledged those of the Hudson's, British failed to uphold their and bargain. So this is just a story of them continuing to lose lands.
Land grabs.
Right, and Molly's like, well, because that name of her white name is easier to say, and she is a
Nazi.
trader anyways. She took some British money and land for herself while they kept taking land from her
From
people.
others.
So I don't know how that's not quid pro quo, but that's quid pro quo in my book. But then again, I just wanted to root it out because I am an American.
You know, this has been a wild ass fucking episode.
It kind of has, man.
You know, it's why you should vet your baddies before you
Paint
get
them.
so involved. But ultimately,
This is such a
like, this,
cool
I think it's
piece
a
of
good learning
work.
opportunity.
The problem
I
is it's
love
like a really
it.
cool piece of work.
It's that I was so encapsulated by the piece of contribution of her that I basically decided to recreate it, and here we fucking are. And I have my foot so far up my mouth it's down out my ass again.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's all in good learning opportunity. And
We
whether
live in
this
the
baddie like
post-truth
ends
era
up in
anyways.
yeah, everything is complicated and life is complex.
She's still a bad bitch.
She is.
It's just a different meaning of those words.
It is. It's just now. It's a very wide spectrum on what I call a bad bitch. Oof. But without further ado,
You love Yzma energy anyways, and you made a great point.
I just don't like hurting people in the process. And if you're
Well,
taking people's land, that's like not cool.
Here's the deal. One man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist or person.
Sure.
And that
you
will
can't-
never not be true.
And there's two sides to every story.
Exactly what you
in
were saying.
All realities.
Some stories are violent. And she was a part of a violent story.
She made the most of her situation is really what it seems like. And I think that we should
Uh-huh.
applaud anybody that is persisting through all means of adversity. Granted, like, you know, like, how is she not the same as like JD Dancing Queen's wife? You know? To like basically other and pull up a ladder in so many ways. In the same way that JD Dancing Queen just pulls up the ladder for every like middle America, like pull up by your bootstraps type of individual, to be like stripping us away of the resources that could be advantageous to us. And simultaneously giving tax breaks to like those that make $900,000 salary.
Yeah.
Wild. What the fuck?
Competition plus insecurity.
It's really just that. Like, if you're wearing lifts, guy liner. I mean, just like enhancing. Listen, I love enhancing. As someone who loves jewelry as a way of enhancing, I get it, JD Dancing Queen.
It's
but
called
like,
Maxine, by the way. It's called Looks Maxine. That's what the cool kids say now. I'm a cool kid. That's why I say it.
Masking? It just sounds like
Maxing.
masking. Maxing. Okay. I don't care how you want to call it. If you're not comfortable in yourself and you're
Well, you
making
liked
everyone
mewing.
else
I'm
feel
sharing because you
inferior,
liked mewing. You send me mewing things now.
only because it helps with your myofascial like structures.
Distortion, yes, because I struggle with my breathing and snoring.
Yes. And included but not limited to, I literally only think I have a fine enough myophysical function because I played saxophone straight the fuck up. Like there's literally no, like, I don't know.
So you're saying the rumors are true. This one time at band camp is actually legendary.
I don't know. You tell me. I mean, like, the reality is like.
Sorry, it was a reference to American Pie.
I know.
Right.
I know what the reference is.
Oh, I was
like,
making sure.
You're with a band player at the end of the day, not a flautist, but a saxophone player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the distinction is.
I saw you blow that magic conch earlier. I couldn't do it. I can't blow things.
Yeah, that is what continues to pull you back to the hetero spectrum, but
I think there's plenty of signs and barriers that keep me over here. That's just one of many.
Something like that. Oh, it sounds like you have a meeting to get to. So without further ado, Do we have another baddie for our books? But I'm also like, oh my fucking god, I can't believe I'm like dropping that term on what was quite an interesting episode. It was a baddie for the books.
It was. It's always weird when God, the enemy of my enemy is my friend is all that is.
It's exactly right. The French and Indian War was like right around the same time frame, right? How is that not the same?
Because it was the French and the Indians against the British, I believe, or the Indians and the British against the French, or it was the Indians and the British and the Indians and the French against each other.
I think the British were involved. I'm crying and everyone's screaming. That's like a millennial Gen Zer because they're thinking of the Wizards of Waverly Place, where she's getting the Jeopardy question. Selena's getting the Jeopardy question, Alex. And she's like, why couldn't I have gotten the French and Indian War question? Who's the two participants of it? Anyway, I think it is the British. The British, the French, and the Indians.
Yeah, but you're right.
But like,
you realize how many groups of Indians there are, right? They're not just one group.
No, I know, but I think in some ways they like form an alliance at some point because it's like, well, I mean, like, sure, maybe not.
Well, yes, we just had a whole episode where we talked about the alliance, the one that's older than the United States, the one that
Iroquois,
the oldest democracy in North America is not the United States democracy. Little known fact.
Which,
well,
it's not.
It might be the oldest current going because I think we exterminated the oldest one, as it were. But
we just like lit it on fire. We're like, nope, now you start now.
No, like we genocided the Native Americans and then we pushed them into reservations and stripped them of their identities.
Yeah, but like their law still precedes ours in all the ways. That's why they're
no, I just meant like that those nations don't really exist in any formal capacity anymore.
Not in the strength that it needs to like do anything. You're right, but like they can't get rid of the date that it got like formed unless they're we fully dismantle it.
I'm not saying they got rid of the date that they formed it. I'm just saying it's no longer in existence, so it's not. It does
not active.
Still, yes, it's not active.
Okay, I'm like, but
it has to be active. Like,
I mean, like, did they like? Is this like a Juggalo situation where they basically were like, you can't do it, and then
no, they literally like murdered most of those people.
Like, yeah, Black Panther, like basically just killing everybody.
No, sure, but like in the 1800s, Maddie, they like. It's called the Trail of Tears.
Oh, that's what that was?
Okay. Yes, that was the tear part of the trail.
Again, this is Maddie Learns History when I've had so many fucking...
It is one of my favorite presidents who is at the helm of this, unfortunately. And I don't like him for this. I don't like these actions.
Yeah, Roosevelt was a dictator.
No,
Teddy Roosevelt?
Andrew Jackson.
Oh, okay.
This is the one who fought against the banks and was the people's president. And all the elites hated him.
Whose people?
The
white people, the white working class people.
Yes, the working class people's president. And obviously white specifically.
Because working class was only seen by...
Well, no, they just didn't have the right to vote yet. Because this is before the Civil War.
So, sorry, white men?
Oh yeah, women can't vote yet.
Right, that's what I need to make the distinction. It's not white working class, it's like white men working class, I guess.
Yeah, it's working class versus rich people. That's the distinction here.
Yeah.
But you're like, I don't like the subsection of working class that represents yet. And I'm like,
well, no, I'm just saying that there are other working classes, like
who are
people of color that are working very hard and are not being represented. Yes, sure. That's what I'm trying to like.
Yes, absolutely. The main point is that like progress comes in waves, right? And freedom.
You're right. I'm just like, who has the ability to like
No one has the ability. That's why violent revolutions happen. People don't want to wait. People are sick of waiting.
Right.
That's why Malcolm X
Right.
literally exists in everything he was saying.
So, but yes, I
and that's
hear
literally
you.
what
And
Martin
I'm like,
Luther comes
what
to at
I'm
the end of his
trying
life.
to
Martin Luther King Jr.
Right. Well, he was murdered as a result of it.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is like, oh, well, it is. It's really just insecurity. It's the inability to have a skill set for yourself so that your money is now in question. It's like the people that don't know anything in their jobs, so they just gatekeep all of the information to make sure that they're a key resource when in fact they're just being a bigger obstacle in
they look at
everybody's
information as something that's scarce as opposed to something that's abundant.
limitless.
Yeah.
Like open source, like fucking everything is like leaning into.
If you
like,
if you treat information as something you should share as freely as possible, you will get more information back, and it will make more sense than anything else.
If you give information out freely. Yes, I agree with that.
You won't get feedback if you don't.
True. Yeah, there's more perspectives than just your own to consider. So like, why would you not outsource and like crowdsource information?
Yeah, it's the crowd intelligence. It's the wisdom of intelligence. You know what the best metaphor quite literally is for it? LLMs, ChatGPT. That's the wisdom of the crowds. If you could read everything ever written on the internet, you would be ChatGPT. You would sound like ChatGPT. When people asked you questions, you would respond and know the answers the way ChatGPT does. Why? Because you read everything. And that's all that this is. And when you go back and forth in conversation, that helps us to get better at, understanding that. And that's when you talk to ChatGPT or these LLMs and you argue with it and you say, no, that's wrong. And these things, that is how they learn also.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, is that your sourcing information may not always necessarily be the most accurate. So
that wasn't what I was saying, but that is a good point.
Being mindful of.
Yeah, the LMs can be wrong, but the point is, like, that's what we all do. We just we learn from reading, and we benefit by just learning more. The more we learn, the more we grow.
Yeah. Shit. Well, fuck. It's been another fucking fun week.
Yeah, another episode. I've been really dark in that corner.
Welcome
but
to the
there
light.
is no good lighting in here today. Oh, it's because I'm behind the chair.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's the starlight I did.
See?
Now cast the shadow back on me.
There goes gravity. Oh, back to reality.
Eminem's been canceled, but he won't give up that easily.
Well, Detroit's not in the Super Bowl, so he can't. Anyway,
but Taylor
episode. Back. Fuck, we're not giving her any more clout.
She's got the Eagles and the Chiefs in there. She's got two teams in the Super Bowl. Tell me this isn't the era's Super Bowl.
Ew. So is she just going to extend her stay and do the Super Bowl next year when she's ultimately broken up with Travis Kelce and this is her, like, revenge?
I hope not, because that extends the timeline for how long I have to wait to see my Lions get a win. And I don't know how long Dan Campbell and the Lions can overcome the curse of the last 70 years.
They're doing a good job.
Right. And so we need to, I thought we were going to go this year. We need to go this next year, you know?
Yeah, well, it's going to be basically amateurs or like the underdogs versus the top dogs, which will be the Lions and Chiefs, which is what I was predicting this cycle. But, it'll probably happen next cycle. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Honestly, everyone's sick of watching the Chiefs get their game handed to them by the refs. So I understand. It's been nice to be a part of, but I just want to see good quality football play its course, and I'm so sick of money controlling how the outcomes work out.
Question. You're quite careful. You might not be allowed to be a commentator. Tom Brady said some similar stuff recently, and Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, said, I don't want Tom Brady on the broadcast for the Super Bowl.
I don't fucking need Hunt's money because he doesn't have any, because he's going to be taking it from the taxpayers. Fuck off. You don't own shit. Bye.
They still do own shit.
Sure,
like,
you can own like your name and all that reality, but like
have
your
a
team
business.
is like the reason for the whole fucking reason that you even exist is behind Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, T.
How about-
Kelsey, all of like
How about just
the
daddy?
players.
How about just daddy?
Yeah, just
Let's
like
just
fucking
leave it.
call me daddy at the end of the day. I'm so sick of this fucking bullshit. Oh man,
Yeah.
I smell some suspicious activities.
No,
and I'm just
it's
like
not like that.
watching I want to see the courses like rectify themselves. We have tried
sure.
to sign off on this. So many different times.
Real quick though, the history here is that their family is the only reason the NFL is as big.
Exists.
No, is as big as it is.
Right,
And-
because we brought the Texans and we brought KC and
No,
the Vikings.
No, their dad or grandpa or
Yeah.
whatever, they founded the American Football League. So
League.
they founded
AFL.
half the league.
Right.
Right. And half the teams in the NFL were founded by them.
So
because the NFL, the National Football League, was short-sighted or whatever the name was for it, I forget. Didn't believe there was more space for expansion teams. Or something like that. Lamar Hunt was like, "Fuck
they're
that."
like,
I know we can do it.
just like Cardi said, they're like proving them wrong. You know?
You just go out there and you tell the people who say no, fine, I'll do it anyways.
Yeah, and I love that fuck off attitude, but also fuck off if you think I'm paying anything more for your precious ass building for more people to have to go pay more money to go like participate in.
Yeah, just spend some of daddy's money. You didn't make it.
It's literally that. Oh, but you don't know how to make your own? Ooh, I don't know about that. Woo-hoo-hoo,
Gotta learn at some point.
It's been another hot ass week on Weekly Mojo. Thanks so much, CB Radio.
We will surely be canceled
hosting.
or prevented from going to Arrowhead at some point.
A
Which
million%.
I got my
fine.
cherry popped. I went there during the negative 30-degree game. I made it in the stadium.
It's okay. Tyler and Livia will like sneak us in. It'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Till next week.
Stay tuned or don't. Have
like,
fun.
subscribe, follow for more.
Oh man.